Alright, looks like I am live. Good deal. Okay, what we got going on? Interesting. Just going through all the videos here. Ready. Oh, nice. Hours ago. Yeah, hours. Listen to that tomorrow at work. Nothing from the Liminal. You must be busy. Hey Ruckus, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing alright. Well, that's fine. You stay up with me. That's just fine. Bought a NAS drive. You know what that is? A Synology NAS drive. It's kind of like a server. I'm listening to my audio. I sound a little bit loud, I think. I gotta turn it down. Alright, we'll try that. See if that's any better. That might be a little too soft. Dang. Alright. I'll go with that. I got my earbuds in. I'm kind of watching my own stream on my iPad. So I'm streaming off my i9 computer tonight without the streaming computer because I'm moving things around. And what is it? The 2080 Ti is coming. And that's going in the streaming rig because that was made for gaming because that's the 8700K. And then the computer that I'm using the game on right now is my i9. That's actually made for video encoding. But I didn't want to buy my gaming video cards for Star Citizen until Star Citizen got closer. So I'm thinking the 2080 series is the Star Citizen card. So I ordered mine. So hopefully I'll get it all together. I'm swapping everything. It's a mess here. And that's kind of reason why I'm only doing 1 day a week. Because I don't have everything the way I want it yet. To get my NAS server set up. The computer's flopped around. And the 2080 Ti in. Get my templates done. Got a couple more remotes I want to do. I think I want to redo the intro. And then that should be good. I'm hoping by Christmas. So like 2019, I'll be doing like 3 days a week or something. I got a half hour before we do the news, so I think I'm going to try to get off of Grim Hex. I'm not sure how this is going to go down. Chances are joysticks aren't going to work, and God knows what, because I haven't started my computer and my Windows update. But we're going to try anyways. It's always fun to try. Oh, the hub's not turned on. I'll turn the hub on. There we go. I was wondering why stuff wasn't up. Phone's on. You got 16 gig RAM, and you want to have a second monitor for streams. Opening tabs, so that takes up about 8 gigs. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I upgrade my computers about every second round, so I tend to skip a generation, and this is the first time I didn't skip. I went right from 10 to the 20, and the reason why I didn't skip was because of the ray tracing and Star Citizen. Otherwise I'd skip, but my rule of thumb is to skip every generation. Like I got the what is it, the i9, and that was 2 generations for the CPU too. That's my advice if you want to keep things realistic with your pocket. But then again, I go all out. I skip generations and I go all out so my stuff lasts. Well, my one computer's got 32, and my i9's got 64 gig of RAM, so I've never gotten that message, so I don't know. I think Sil has 16 gig of memory, and the next time you see Sil, you might want to ask her if she gets that message. 'Cause it could be something that you're running on your computer. Maybe you got like Norton's or Bitdefender or something running in the background. My audio sometimes gets messed up when that thing's loading. I don't know if you heard me or not. I gotta get my Warthog bolted in real quick. I didn't have any money to myself till my kids got older, moved out. Then I had money. Man, the frames are like really bad. I think the elevator's down. What tabs are you talking about? Talking about browser tabs? Firefox web browser tabs? Well, I know the solution to that, dude. You need to get a tablet. Watch your Twitch on a tablet. Get a kickstand for your cell phone and plug that baby in. I didn't know they used that much memory. That's insane. I had no idea. It's actually a big chunk. But I guess the way web browsers are, they're like their own operating system nowadays. Oops. I just want to get off of here, and I want to get home to Port Olisar. And I got no engines on all my ships for like the last 2 weeks now. Oh, actually a week. It happened a week ago. Oh, wait a minute. I want to go out this way. I don't even know why I went out that way. So, I'm really hoping that I got engines. We got like Christmas music. Sister's playing Christmas music. What the hell? I don't see any engines. I mean, they got me so stuck at Grim Hex. It's not even funny. I'm gonna have to have somebody like pick me up, take me back to Port Olisar, I bet. Landing pad, airlock, that's where I'm going. And what would be the magic ship that actually has an engine on it? I wonder if it'll let me put them on with the Mobi-Glass. I just want to get off of this damn planet. Asteroid. It's locked. Why is it locked? Okay. Oh, something blew up, something. Excellent. Hostiles. Nothing's populating. Selected the ship. No, this is good. Star Citizen, why do you hate me? We'll delete the user folder, is what we're gonna do. There we go. Bye bye. No more user folder. Alright, we're gonna try to boot it up one more time. Got 17 minutes before we start the news. Really just kind of wanted to get out of GrimHex. Kind of wanted to just fly my ship. Okay. Universe. But Kool-Aid's got like 7 people on his server. Jumping all over that. Maybe that'll fix my ship spawning problem. Alright. Get up out of this bed. Oh man. Wonder what ship. What ship should I pick? What ship might spawn with an engine on it? Tough decision. Thinking maybe a Vanguard. Possibly. Okay, A1. All right, we're going for it. Nope, there's no door here. This isn't going well. My Star Citizen experience is not good. I'll have to see if I can get the PTU going for this weekend. Hopefully I'll have ships in the PTU that's got engines on them. Alright. Let's see, what can we do? Have some fun. Over there. Alright, where's this music at? There we go. Alright, alright. Show you guys what I bought. What I'll be building this weekend. They 9 8 plus.
It's finally time to take a look at our DS918 Plus.
Kind of loud.
Every time I sit down and want to make a video, I'm like, there's just too much to cover. It's overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to cover the specs, tell you what this unit is.
So I bought this piece of hardware. It's coming to the house. I bought the SSD RAM for it, which is the M.2 sticks of not RAM, of hard drives, and it uses that for cache. And I bought 8 gig of RAM for it. So it's like a little computer with all these hard drives in it, and it does network attached storage, but it also can like run my website and all that, so I don't have to pay people. It's also like a cloud server. It does all kinds of crazy stuff, man. It's just, and I'm gonna build this weekend.
Is, and then we're going to look at the software. It's going to be a few minutes longer than a normal video, but you really want to stay tuned for the software at the end. Right now, I want to tell you that it's more than just a box with a bunch of hard drives in it. There's a lot of NAS units out there in the market. You can build your own. You can buy one from several different companies, but this device to me is a lot more than just a bunch of junk inside a box. The main thing for us with Synology is the software package that comes on top of it. Because, I mean, yes, it's high quality. The build quality and everything is really high quality, but you can go out and get something similar or build your own that's pretty similar in quality. So the main selling point with Synology, in my opinion, is the ease of use, the fact that it just works, their service, and the fact that everything on the NAS is yours. It's not communicating with the cloud, and the software that they've given us here sort of turns this into your own private cloud server with all of your own applications. Like we've got an Office suite and everything on here, all your photos. ability to access things, ability to share files with people just with one click. All that kind of stuff is built into this unit, and you don't have to worry about anybody looking over your shoulder or harvesting your data to use for marketing or some nonsense like that. So that's one of the main reasons that we've switched over to Synology. All right, so the DS919 Plus. Let's go through the specs real quick. We've got a quad-core Celeron in here. It runs at 1.5, but it can boost up to 2.3. And you can do two 4K streams at the same time, supporting H.264, H.265, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's another thing this thing does is it's a media streamer, so you can like watch your movies and stuff from your home on your phone or on your smart TV and all that stuff. One reason why we're watching this before Star Citizen News is because this is what's going on here at my house this weekend as I'm building this thing.
It'll do that all on the fly. No worries with transcoding. Now you can get up to 8 gigabytes of memory in this, and we have 2 different memory slots, so you can populate it as you see fit. We put some of the 10 terabyte Seagate drives in here. These have a much better track record than their 4 terabyte drives, so naturally we're going to use that to get as much storage out of this as possible. Now you can expand this. It's a 4 bay, but you can get up to 9 bays with the expansion and just plug them all together. Also, one of the things that's really cool about the 918 Plus is on the bottom there's an option where you can get a couple of NVMe SSDs, M.2 NVMe SSDs, and put those on the bottom and use those for caching. And setting that up is as simple as going into the interface and being like, yes, use the NVMe for caching. I mean, it's like, after doing this manually with other systems and pulling my hair out and being like, I really just want to get back and make my game, the ease of use on this is pretty ridiculous. It's hot swappable. On the back, you've got 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, and that's going to be nice if you want to do, maybe some teaming, like lag teaming, and get dual gigabit coming out of there. Or if you wanted to, you can just use one as a failover. As far as the different file systems you can use, well, you got BTRFS and also ext4. I would probably recommend using BTRFS and then using Synology's RAID technology instead of using the regular RAID. But if you want to use regular RAID, you can.
I have no idea what he's talking
0, 1,
about.
5, 6, and 10. You can also do JBOD if you like.
Which is kind of
Synology
scary.
hybrid RAID is what we're using on ours, and that's their own RAID technology. I like it. It's similar to the regular RAID, except the fact that you can use any combination.
The only word I really understand about what he's saying is RAID. So I really hope there's a really good instruction book that comes with this thing, and it's as easy as what he says it was.
Of drives you like, and it'll just make one big data pool. I mean, throw a Seagate in there, throw a Western Digital in there, just grab a bunch of hard drives, throw them in this unit, and then use their hybrid RAID technology. BTRFS, you can do snapshots and be happy. The dimensions of this unit, 166 by 199 by 233 in millimeters, and it's 2.8 kilograms. That's without the hard drives in there, of course. You've got 2 92 millimeter fans in the back, and it's nice and quiet, 19 decibels. So you can actually put it on the shelf and not have to worry about much noise. 100 watt power supply on the inside. So they got some good technology there with the drives, like chilling out and sleeping and all that sort of thing. Now guys, we're gonna go through some of the apps on this. I'm gonna show you around our version of this NAS. You can change the desktop background. It's got a really nice desktop and all that sort of thing. But if you guys want more details on all of the software, we made a video where we went and checked out the Synology event in New York City. Please click on the description to watch that entire thing. If you guys are like in the market for Synology or just curious about that, go ahead and click.
So people are using these boxes to install Steam onto the box. And then this box also connects to your computer, so it can use some resources on your computer too, if you want to do it that way, or you can run them directly off the box depending on how demanding the game is that you want to play. But most games will run right out of the box, and you can stream them right to your phone, so you can like pull up your Steam games wherever you want, just like that cloud service Shadow that Board Gamer's promoting. So basically what Shadow's doing, I can do right from my home, but it'll be all my own hardware through this box.
Click on that and it'll give you all the information. But now let's cut over to my desktop and check out this unit that we have. This is your DSM desktop. This pops up. You can close it wherever. This is just your little help window. Now, if you're familiar with Linux, you're instantly going to be like, oh, some of these things are interesting. For instance, the package.
No, it's at normal speed, but I was wondering the same thing. What I think they do is they speed their own videos up So it compresses the time because people won't usually sit and watch a video for 17 minutes.
Package Center. Very similar to a lot of the package managers you see out there on Linux distros. This one has stuff that is geared for this NAS, and you guys can come on here and grab new bits of software to run on your NAS, and it's extremely easy. That's one of the things I liked about this is there's just really no fuss.
Slow it down for you.
So when you first start, you have like your recommended section, and I'll go through a few of these things that we have installed. You can view everything, and a lot of developer tools and that sort of thing. Now, you can run things in Docker right here, so you can pretty much run anything and just enclose it enclose it that way, not worry about it. So, all right, let's just go through some of the stuff we have installed. I'm not going to cover everything in this video. If you guys want to see everything, you need to go watch the video where we cover all the new stuff in 2018. The link is...
I'm putting WordPress on there, so I won't have to pay for my website anymore. That for sure is going to go there. And let's say if we wanted to have like a TeamSpeak server or something like that, we could put a voice server on it. But I'll use Discord, so I don't think I need a voice server on it. But that's one thing for sure I'm putting on there is my website.
Is in the description, so check that out. Resource Monitor is very handy. We're also not really going to cover backup, but you have a ton of backup options here. So your control panel, you can go here to set up users and groups, and you can have group folders on the NAS, set up different share folders and that sort of thing. QuickConnect makes it super easy to access your NAS from anywhere else in the world. All you have to do is just go to QuickConnect.to, then the name of your NAS or whatever, and you're connected to it. It's really, really simple. Use your name and password to log in after that. Then you can configure all sorts of different options for external access. You guys can set up DDNS, and I'll make a video showing you guys how to do that. You can use Synology Server, and then you have all these different Synology URLs. So it'll be like whatever the name of your NAS is, .synology.me, and then you can access this externally really, really easily. So you guys can set that up, or you can use any of your favorite DDNS services, and this is going to help you if you don't have a static IP, but you want to be able to connect regardless of your IP address. And then check this out. You can come in here and configure your router, and you can set it up for all sorts of different things, and it will do the port forwarding for you. So first off, it'll come and detect your router. All right, so this will actually go and look and see what kind of router you have. We've got a couple different routers here. One's
I don't think I want to watch all
one's
this.
a DHCP server, so we're not really worried about it. Also, I don't have PMP enabled, but you can do that. But it'll work regardless. So here's our stuff. Check this out. You can come in here and select working right here in the background on your NAS. Media Server and Video Station are pretty cool. Video Station is an interface that's going to be familiar to people who like Plex Media Server and that sort of thing. I don't really have a lot of I'm mostly playing video games, so I don't really have much media. But yeah, you can set it up.
Yeah, he bought it do Steam
for
on it.
all your stuff on here. Put your movies, your TV shows, whatever your own videos on here, and it will organize itself nicely. All right, Moments is a way to organize your photos, and it will blow your Frost Giant mind. So I just imported
No
a whole
more
bunch of
paying
photos. I'm
Apple
using
to store
Moments
my
mostly for like
pictures.
cell phone photos and just goofing off photos. But there's some artificial intelligence that's actually running on your device. It's not in the cloud. This is actually all on your device, so they're not actually harvesting your information. And with each new update, they're adding in new artificial intelligence to better search through your stuff. But already right now, I've just imported a bunch of my stuff. Let me type concert. And check that out. It was able to detect that these photos are from a concert. How does it know? They're blurry, dark, and have horned hands. Is that how it knows? I don't know. So that's that search. Let's try food. I don't really take any people shots. Yeah, it's really doing a good. It even knew that this was food. Oh, come on. When I make a chicken salad sandwich, I make a f***ing chicken salad sandwich. So anyway, Moments is really handy because if you're looking for that one picture, screen maybe? There we go, screen. I type screen and it's like, oh, here, these are screens, aren't they? Why, yes, they are screens. That's a projector. But you guys can see it makes your life a lot easier when you're looking for that one picture or something. Otherwise, it's organized by date. And it just drops them in there. If you have a bunch of people shots and you want it to be like, hey, this is Steve, you can tag a photo with Steve. It will go through your entire library and match that face and be like, here's all the pictures of Steve. So if you're looking for that certain picture of Steve, that can make your life easier. Now, PhotoStation's a little different. This is geared more toward professional, like say like I want to show that application. Actually more full featured in my opinion than Hangouts. You can get the Windows application if you want to as well. I've got the Windows application on my computer.
Okay, that's enough. Well, that's what it is. And I'll give you an idea of what I'm going to put on there. I got this right here. My arcade collection. It's like super big. Like I got all these systems. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. Probably not. It's probably too small. I could try to start it up, but it might crash the stream because it goes into full screen. I'll go for it anyways. This one right here is not. Big box is full screen and launch box is like a window interface. This is gonna go on the NAS. As soon as it's done making my mouse and everything go all crazy, I'll up with that. Looks like it's installing. I don't know if you guys can see all this. Something's going on. I guess. I didn't know it was gonna update. I guess it's updating. This thing waiting for me to do something or what? Oh no, it's loading. There we go. Something's about to happen. Oh no, the mouse is going crazy again. And I click that box. Something weird. Why am I? The mouse is fighting me. There you go. I managed to click that off. Wow. There we go. I can close it here. Anyways, this program that I cannot open because I'm streaming, got all my games in it, and that's what I'm putting on the NAS. So let's get going with the Star Citizen news. And we're gonna go to YouTube, like we always do. Pause the music, roll the intro.
Even a message can stop me.
Right, and we're back. So, first thing going in the news. Check out the games. See if he came in with anything Star Citizen related. And it looks like he did. Star Citizen community toxic explained. Yes, please explain to me why I am toxic.
I appreciate all of the people that are really helping us out because we really need to push. The Star Citizen crazies are a pretty small group, but the rest of the community isn't going to stop them. And that's where I think that we need to kind of voice up a little bit, you know, Jiro, just a little bit, and kind of like battle that. And you're right. The Star Citizens group's kind of small that are crazies, but I see it growing into something a little bit more, you know, worrisome. And I think we have to kind of acknowledge that as a community, that particular crazy section is growing. And that's outside of the game. And I was saying this earlier, Jiro, is like I go in the game, it's very positive. You know, I should explain that a little bit better in the video, but I think people that know me know that. I go in the game, I play the game, I have a good time. You know, the people in the game, for the most part, great people. It's the outside of the game. It's the community surrounding the outside of it, pretty much. And the crazies are kind of getting a little bit more mentally ill.
The crazies
I
are
would
getting
like to do a
mentally
down the rabbit
ill.
hole about this.
What?
Yeah, I think that this particular talk
Heck.
right now is something that I probably
This
post
guy's
on
smoking
my
weed.
YouTube channel, but it's something that I think that needs to be acknowledged. And maybe for that simple fact, I will actually post this on the YouTube channel and talk about the fact that, you know, in reply to the Star Citizen community as toxic, as becoming toxic, get a little deeper and talk about the fact that there is a section or a portion of the community that is mentally ill, that does have some type of illness, and that it seems to be getting larger because that toxicity is echoing out. It's not really affecting the people inside the game, like I said, but it's something outside the community that is affected by those in Reddit, you know, and those within Spectrum, and those that are like uber fans of very large content creators that have like basically made it like a militaristic kind of like board gamer versus noobifier, or you know, like you know, like fucking Matachi, I don't even know how you pronounce his name, versus WTFosaurus or stuff. You know, people will look at me and say, some people will say this, and these are the pro Uber content providers will say, there's no war, you're making this up, DG. Like, what is this guy talking about? There's no facts based on this. There's no data or statistics. You know, the thing is you can see the shift. You can see it in the comments. You can start to see it like in the comments. You know, Failure to Report made a really good video about some slanderous shit that
Failure
Montoya
to
did. Now,
Report
I'm
made a really good video.
Neutral.
Oh my
I'm neutral
God.
on this. Montoya and I have had one talk with one another on Discord.
This guy's a wrecking
and he
ball,
complimented
dude.
me on a video. So, you know, props out to Montoya. Thank you. Appreciate it. But Montoya had basically put Failure to Report in front of a bus, really. At least this is all subjective, you know, like I don't know what really happened here. but there seems to have been some type of controversy that happened between those two. And that's what I'm trying to get across about the Star Citizen community. It's like there doesn't need to be this, like, you know, push pull, like this guy versus this guy. It's happening a lot more because it makes sense. It's a science oriented. It's a game that's about organizations and power. And anytime you get like into space games, that like Eve, for instance, it kind of flows over into real life. I see this dichotomy happening within these types of communities where power is like the, you know, one of the main aspects to the game.
No kidding.
And that
I think this guy's all wet.
Toxicity. That is
what do you think, Lurch?
What I see is
he's
happening
all
is
wet.
that kind of spilling over into real life.
I think he's
and
really
then it's
wet.
just kind of getting a little out of control. And you'll see these comments. Maybe I get a better perspective of this and can say it from this angle because I'm making the content, so I can see what maybe other people can't see, you know. But that's my 2 cents on it. That's my reply. This video will go on YouTube, and I'd like to hear more people and see what they feel, you know. But I wanted to get a little bit deeper for my audience so that they understand what I'm talking about when I think that the Star Citizen community is toxic. It's important. Thank you very much, Jiro, for the topic. Thank you.
I am not toxic.
I delved into this. Did I do it proper? I hope I did it proper for everybody. It's about as detail oriented as I can get on my explanation that I really didn't get to put out there because I wanted a nice, concise, short kind of video that just brought about discussion, which is what I do here on the channel. Okay, thank you, Jiro.
Oh
Jiro says I think so.
God.
Thank you. More vids on the way. Thanks.
I don't know if he was like really desperate to make a video or if he was serious or what, but whatever. It's his opinion, what he thinks. You had to respect him for his opinion. All right. Hey, Late Gamer with Will. He hasn't made a video in over a month. Montoya. Oh, yeah. We got video. I fell asleep, so I can't remember if you played this one or not yesterday.
I
don't remember it. So I was already asleep. You're gonna buy it. I know you. You're gonna melt something.
Okay, I'm buying it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
told you.
am Montoya. I've slept in it. I've given this some thought. You know, I'm very hesitant about adding new ships, but I went and did it. I melted down my Constellation Andromeda for stock credit, and I'm about to buy the Mercury. I think they hit it out the park. I've been staring at this gift.
I didn't
now
melt a Connie.
for
I
about
only
10
melted
minutes,
a
and,
Hurricane.
I'll tell you why exactly I'm going to purchase this ship. This is the new iconic ship of Star Citizen. It used to be. You can pull up the ship matrix here. I'm comparing the Constellation to the new Mercury Star Runner. The Constellation was meant to be the iconic ship of Star Citizen. You guys who've been here from the beginning, remember very, very early on when Chris Roberts was showing off the Constellation, he was saying, hey, this is the Millennium Falcon of Star... I can't do his accent. I can't do anything like Chris Roberts. Oh, can I? The Constellation was supposed to be the Millennium Falcon of Star Citizen, but it has been out Millennium Falconed by the Mercury. And it was a very, very tough decision to get rid of the Constellation because it was the first ship I ever pledged for. And but you know what? The Mercury just outdoes it. Well, it doesn't outdo anything as far as the actual stats of the ship, but just the aesthetics of it is just right, you know. And for the price range, okay, $200. Okay, I'm using store credit, so it's going to be $225. For those of you that are new to Star Citizen and go, holy crap, $225 is a ridiculous amount. But keep in mind, those of us that have been here for a long, long time, we haven't just thrown in a big pool of money right from the beginning. Maybe some of you have. But for most of us, we put in $50 here, $20 there, $10 here, $50 there over the years. So here we are 4 years later. I've got $225 in store credit, and well, I do now because I melted the Constellation. And I've been waiting to put it towards something. And the Mercury Star Runner is that ship. So price range, they hit it exactly where it needs to be. For what it does, it's an all-rounder. It does cargo, it does data, it is a medium, it is fast. It hits on all the points. And most importantly for me is the aesthetic. It just looks like the kind of ship that I want to use in this game a lot. The Constellation, while it's always going to be, I think, the unique ship, it just doesn't speak to me the way the Mercury did. So the price, the aesthetic, but look at the problems here. All right, first of all, let's compare the two of them. Length, obviously the Constellation is bigger. Oh, quickly, let's go to the, not you, there we go. Okay, this is the comparison chart done by YT-O and Sebman that put this up regularly on the subreddit. And so here's the side-by-side comparison of the Mercury and the Constellations. You can see what's going on there. Obviously much shorter. It's wider because of the wings and the engines. It's sad for me to see the Constellation leave my hangar, but you know what? Okay, some stats here. Obviously length, shorter, beam, wider, the height. The Constellation's taller, but I mean that's got to do with the landing struts and all that. Size, large and medium. The Constellation is large, the Mercury is medium. So why is that good or why is that bad? We haven't really hit this in the game yet. The game mechanic, there will be a game mechanic where certain ships of a certain size cannot move through certain jump points. There will be jump points which will only allow small ships. There will be jump points which will only allow medium and smaller. And then there'll be large jump points where everything can go through. How this will work is if there's a system here and there's a system there, there might be a small jump point. Only small ships can pass. Whereas larger ships will have to jump 5, 6, 7, 8 jumps across. I'm exaggerating, it might be just 2 or 3. But larger ships may have to stick to larger jump points to get certain points. Being a medium-sized ship, now this will require game balance when the game starts. Will there be an advantage to having a medium-sized ship over a larger size? And I say yes. There will very, very likely be situations where a jump point will only handle medium-sized ships, whereas a larger ship will have to take 2 or 3 extra jumps. There will be a time disadvantage for larger ships, which are heavily armored. By the way, correction from my last video, I said the Mercury was heavily armored. It is not. It is quite light armored compared to everything else, which is possibly another downside. But let's go on and read some more. Okay, cargo capacity, the same cargo. This is actually what sold me because the Constellation was supposed to be my small cargo runner. I would much rather do my cargo running in the Mercury, seeing that it is so much faster.
How
Space
wide
combat
is it?
Maneuverability, 215. Afterburner speed, 1,050.
Like two cutlasses is what I'm thinking.
Minimum crew, Constellation 3, Mercury 2. What does this mean? Again, we don't have the exact game mechanics in, but it's probably likely that a ship that usually required 2 people will be easier to run with 1 person. Admit it. Now, I don't care how many people in your organization, how many friends you have online, there will be plenty of times where you are up at 1 o'clock in the morning, you want to jump into the game, you're going to jump into your ship, and there's no friends around. Can you fly that ship solo? I feel the Mercury is a lot more soloable than possibly the Constellation. Look, we'll have to see in the game if that's true or not, but I like that. It is probably a good solo ship. As far as maneuverability, we don't have any stats on that yet, but weaponry, now this is where it falls short big time compared to the Constellation. The Constellation has 4x4 M6A laser cannons, whereas the Mercury has 2 size 2 gimbal laser repeaters. Now, being gimbaled means if you switch it for a fixed weapon, it ups 1 size, so that's 2 size 3s. Still way off from the 4 size 4s. Turrets, pretty much the same. Missiles. The Constellation is a missile boat. This is not. So very, very outgunned by the Constellation. Yet, you know what? If I'm going to combat, I'm not taking this ship. If I'm just doing some cargo running, some data running, some smuggling, then yes, this is the fast solo ship that I will most likely go to. So that was my reasoning. I gave it thought. I'm sad to see the Constellation go, but this is what I imagine myself flying in the game. So with that, here we go. Add it in the cart. Standalone ship, Mercury Star Runner, in stock, 225. Let us check out. Doesn't matter how many times I do this. It's still kind of, you always.
Hey guys, I gotta do the mini
Let's
game.
do it. Here we go. Check
We'll do that together
Go.
here in a
A
minute.
few moments later.
I forgot. I gotta do the mini
This sale
game.
is not transferable. If you are new, keep in mind that if you buy something with store credit, you cannot gift that to someone else. It is fixed to your account. This ship was bought with store credit, so it is not transferable. Place order. Here we go. In a few seconds, the Mercury will be mine. Place order. And now, as is tradition, click on my hangar. There it is in my hangar. Feels good. No regrets yet. No buyer's remorse yet. I think I've done the right thing here. Have I done the right thing? Let me know. Did you do the right thing and buy this too and sell your Constellation? I feel bad for those Constellations getting melted right now. Give me your thoughts. As always, thumbs up, comments below. I'll see you.
I would not melt
in the
the
next
Connie
one.
for it. I did melt a Hurricane. All right. So that was Matoya. Go find that and link that. There we go. There's a link to that video. Now, after Montoya, we usually do Minion Soldier. Okay, Minion Soldier has done 15 hours ago. Star Citizen going all in on one ship. Huh. Anybody know if Panda did the one from yesterday? Anybody confirm? Hey, Master Gaming, how you doing, buddy? If nobody says anything, I'm going to go to this video right here. We're going to watch the all in on one ship.
Whenever a new ship comes out, especially a larger ship or a bigger ship or a more expensive ship, you always see these threads. And of course, we're seeing them right now in regards to the Mercury. I'm thinking of melting all my ships and just turning them into a Mercury, but there are also other threads out there. God of Freelancer Mist, thinking of upgrading to a Hammerhead, thinking about melting everything, buying a Mercury, talk me out of it, that sort of thing. And so I thought it would make an interesting topic for a video, which is going all in on one ship in the Star Citizen universe.
Everybody in chat, let's play a game. Everybody type in if you could only have one ship and you couldn't buy any more ships, whatever, just one ship and that was going to be your ship and that's it, what would it be? Curious. I know what you guys type in there for
So,
your
do I
ship.
think that it's a good idea? With the Hammerhead, I think it's a unique situation because the Hammerhead is a ship that is just about to be delivered, right? Fingers crossed, 3-3, CitizenCon, we get our hands on the Hammerhead, and we, the pilots who own it, can then start to develop the ship or their knowledge of the ship as the game develops. And there's a very strong value to that, I made a video a while ago where I talked about the fact that imagine in whatever MMO, whatever you're playing right now, imagine you could take all the knowledge that you've developed in that game and take it back to yourself day one. And then play the game from the start with all that knowledge. I mean, imagine playing any game from launch knowing everything that you know about it now, any game that you've played over the years. And I think most people would agree that the difference would be pretty amazing. Knowing where everything's going to be, knowing how to do things, knowing the faster way, the more efficient way to do things, knowing where all the pitfalls and all the mistakes and all the misjudgments that they had made along the way, knowing how those things would turn out, I think would be very, very different, certainly. A lot of people would benefit very strongly from having that knowledge. And being at the point that we're in Star Citizen, of course, I think a longer video could be made in regards to the state of Star Citizen, maybe something, a project for the future, you know, the current state and the concerns around it. But
The Nox is most interesting.
where you're at right now is, in a way, kind of an enviable position, because let's say you pick up your Hammerhead, right? Citizen comes out, you get access, you have your Hammerhead, you're now flying it in the universe. Well, these systems are missing from the game, those systems are missing from the game, the flight engine is going to get its tuning pass, let's say that. You're in a good spot. It may not seem like a good spot, but you're in a good spot, because as these systems all come online, they will kind of come in organically, and you'll have time to develop your knowledge of the ship organically. You'll be able to kind of get used to the layout, get used to how things work within the ship, and then all of a sudden Item System 2.0 comes in full force, and now you're able to go and make mods to your ship. You're able to test out different
All the
shields.
Endeavor,
Nothing really,
yes.
there is no
Lots
real
of things
concern
to
at
do.
this point, because nothing really counts. You can just keep going at it again and again and again, trying out different shields, different guns, different configurations, spending all this money only to have it reverted back to you and to do it all over again and to try it in all these different ways. And then as each ship system comes into play, you get used to that very organically, just weaving that all in. It's a great way to learn how to do things. It's a great way to develop an almost expert level of knowledge regarding that ship, right? You're in a great position. It may not feel that way at times. I certainly agree.
The best thing
But
about the
you're in a
players
great
is when you
position
get pissed off, you can hit the
So,
button.
In a situation like the Hammer,
And everybody knows what
yeah,
happens when
that's
you
a-
hit the
that's a good
button.
thing. The Mercury vault, there is a missing component, which is the ship's not here, right? The ship is not here, and so your ability to develop that knowledge, I mean, certainly you can develop it to a certain degree. Let's say they give you a freelancer and a herald as a loner. You can develop, knowledge of, data running, data trafficking, all that sort of sweet stuff once that system is implemented in the game. But the herald's not really going to give you an idea.
You ain't
of
seen
what it's
nothing
like to
yet,
fly a
man.
much bigger ship,
It's
and
all
certainly the
coming.
Freelancer's not going to give you an idea of what it's like
Piece
to fly
by
that much
piece,
bigger ship as
step
well.
by step.
And
The zombies
that's
come
kind
out
of the
at night.
downside. Now add on to that the fact that, let's say your ship gets blown up, what are you going to do in the meantime, right? And that's always something, that has always concerned me, is if you get all your ships blown up, well, what are you going to do? That's why I own a few different ships, is because what happens when that ship blows up? Well, what are you going to do then? Are you just going to sit and
Send my drones out.
In the end, you kind of want to fly your own ship and you want to make progress, but now you're waiting for the the respawn timer on your ship, and chances are those respawn
Or I could just
timers
call
are going
bullshit
to
on
get
somebody.
much bigger in the future once everything counts. So just sitting there saying, well, I'll spend 900 credits and I'll get it back in 2 minutes, it's like, that might not be the reality.
Or maybe they'll run chicken.
come live, come to the point in beta where everything counts. That just might not be the reality. So don't kind of...
They run chicken, then I might just rip them in half.
I think that it's always a good idea to have a side ship. I realize that that might sound a like a
Maybe
little bit
one
of
day somebody will make it
metaphor,
rain
but
money.
it's always a good idea to have a little side ship, something just for you, something fun, something interesting. Whether it's a Herald, whether it's
And if I don't like you, I might
Super
give you a
Hornet,
finger.
or whether it's just a prospect, or just something like a vulture, something that you can go out and you can just jam with and just have fun by
Everybody
yourself and
likes
just
bananas.
mess around with while you're waiting for that bigger ship to come back to you. So I understand the desire to kind of gamble it all and just say, I want this. I get it. I totally get it. But in truth, I think ultimately it's always a good idea to have a side ship, and no, an Aurora or a Mustang Alpha does not count as a side ship. That's a glorified shuttlecraft. I mean, it's not even, it's almost like a space bike.
You don't like the Wrecking Ball, Ruckus? You found the Wrecking Ball to be upsetting?
Having a ship that can go out there and do things is important, even if it's an Avenger. Having something else just on the side, just in case, is always a good idea. In all honesty, you could end up in a point, and I could really see this happening. You could end up at a point where, you log into the game and just flying a big ship is not what you want to do right now, right? You're just not in the mood for that. You want to be just chill. You just want to kind of go off, do your own thing, and just kind of get into the chill zone and not have to worry about managing all these things and working with all these systems and however you're going to do it, however your crew, whether it's NPCs or whether it's friends, not having to worry about all that shit, and just kind of maybe hop into like a Vulture or hop into an Avenger or something like that and just kind of go off and do your own thing for a while. We all get into that kind of headspace from time to time. We just need to go and decompress and chill. We still want to play the game, but we just don't want to play the game with such high stakes. You know what I mean? So having a ship like that, I think, is a good idea. If you're going to go and you're going to get the Mercury or the Hammerhead or whatever, don't gamble everything on it. Always make sure that there's a little side ship so you can go off and just do your own thing when you feel like just doing your own thing and not worrying too much about this, that, or the other expense or all these other responsibilities that come with owning a much bigger ship. It's always important to just have just a little fun ship for scooting around and just doing your own thing in. So that would be my opinion on that question. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Alright, here we are. Minion Soldier. Let's link his video for you guys. Alright. Next up, we have Youngblood. Days ago, I don't think we got one from him. So let's go to Tactical Advance. Tactical Advance. Month ago. Super Mac Brother.
Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news from Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. This week, the latest concept ship, the Crusader Mercury, goes on sale. We see progress on the VoIP and FOIP feature, plus we get to see early work on the Lorville transit system. So if you are wanting to try Star Citizen for free, CIG are currently running a free fly this weekend. You will have access to the Aegis Avenger, the Misk
think that's
Prospector
over.
mining ship, the Drake Cutlass Black, and the Drake Dragonfly. Some really great ships there. Plus you'll have access to all the locations that we have as backers. You have until the 27th of August to try it out. All you need to do is sign up to the website and you'll be able to download the game and give it a go. Remember, it is 30 gig though, so it may take a little while. Be sure to use my referral code seen on screen now or in the description if you haven't got an account yet, as this will give you 5,000 in-game credits for free when you do so. This is the best way to try Star Citizen. It requires no money whatsoever. Get into it, let me know what you think about it. I would love to hear your thoughts. So the first question for Calling All Devs is, when ArcCore gets added, will we see the addition of the Aaron Halo asteroid field and its gateways? Now, this is an asteroid field which is between, I think it's Hurston and ArcCore. It's on the roadmap, you can see it, but the really cool concept of the gateways there. They say it's not going to be in 3.4 when ArcCore comes in. The Aaron Halo is seen as a separate entity and will be tackled later. They do need to make sure that asteroids look good when the sun is behind you, so once they got that tech sorted, they will look into creating it. Next question, how can ships hover the way that they do in atmosphere? Now, this has been addressed previously by Chris Roberts. Currently, the maneuvering thrusters are way too powerful than what they should be. They are not
It's in the
accurate.
future.
There is plans to sort them out. Some ships do behave as they should, like the Reclaimer with its VTOL thrusters and the Retaliator. They kind of work well in atmosphere. And Chris Roberts does want all the ships to feel distinctive and will perform more accurately in the future. Third question is, will we see atmospheric planes, aquatic ships and so forth added this year? And no, not this year. There's nothing actively being planned for these types of vehicles, but that doesn't mean that they won't ever make it into the game. It's just there are no plans at the current status. So final
They're
question.
getting some really good
Will there be a
renders.
weapon rest character position so as not to provoke a firefight? Now, this is something that I've really wanted for a while now. So when you've got a weapon equipped and sort of out pointing in front of you, instead of having it pointing directly in front of you, have it point to the ground, kind of like an at ease stance where you can walk around and guard and not generally...
It's bones. Exclamation point. Bones.
put the shits up someone when you're pointing a gun at them. And they said it's definitely something they want for players. They do need it for Squadron 42. Kind of like it's holstered, but it's not. And they want this as well for AI, because when they move away from armistice zones and go towards actual security guards, it will help indicate whether those guards are reacting to you in a bad way or if they're just at ease with you. And that's something, as I say, is one of my pet peeves, is whenever you bring out a weapon, you have to have it pointing in front of you. I do like the more laid back, especially when patrolling or anything along those lines. Great for roleplay. Anyway, that was Calling All Devs, guys. Let's move on quick. So on to Around the Verse this week. They were working on Core Tech, which enables a much more streamlined workflow for designing and implementing UI into the game. Basically, iterating on UI display logic quickly and in real time. It's very useful for weapons and ammo displays, comm array screens, MFDs and ships, and these new storage lockers and more. It just makes the workflow much quicker. They're updating the current missions and contracts for players. Currently, most mission locations are hard-coded, so items spawn at XYZ, for example. As they add more locations and Stanton expands, they don't want to have to go through and update every single mission every time a new location comes in. So they're working on a system which auto-updates and adds the new locations, allowing players to travel further. We saw some early modular work on Lorville's transit station. It looks very similar to the underground that we currently know. And it looks as though trains arrive behind the glass on the right-hand side and then the set of doors open up. It's very cool to think we'll soon be able to navigate our way around the city using this system, checking out all the locations. Also notice the two shady-looking characters sat on the bench. One is wearing a long black trench coat and the other one was wearing sort of tracksuit bottoms and a black hoodie. I wonder if this is part of the Hurston's clothing collection that we'll be able to purchase when Hurston comes in. They also said that we will see more of the city of Lorville at CitizenCon, which does sound exciting. We'll probably have a little tour of that. Now they're optimizing VoIP and FOIP to get it working correctly. They're working on data compression, making it run less expensively in terms of performance. They're also controlling the audio bitrate server side, which allows them to present an audio experience which is appropriate to what the player is doing in game. If the player is wearing a helmet and using the comm system to talk, they provide a lower bitrate as the audio is expected to be degraded, as we can hear here.
Test. Voice comms audio test. Compression level high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
But if no helmet is being used and you're in the same room as the person, then the voice will be much more clear, meaning a higher bitrate, and it sounds like this.
Voice comms audio test. Compression low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now this is something that Chris Roberts mentioned a while ago. He knows he's never going to be able to stop people wanting to use third.
There you go. That should be a code right there. That's a referral code. I should take care of you.
Welcome to the Boneyard.
Thank you for following. Appreciate it.
Party voice, but he does intend on creating a robust quality VoIP experience so that players feel like they don't want to. I personally don't want to. I want to have the full experience of the game sounds, and VoIP will sound great and differ depending on the proximity, the location, the headgear, everything basically, which in turn will create some really cool moments like being on a bridge and hearing all the crew chatting away.
Welcome to the verse, by the way. I hope you've done your homework. I don't know if you're looking for like not to put a whole lot of money into it, but to invest something into it. I'm gonna tell you to go with the Cutlass Black for a starter ship, and then figure out what you want to do, and then either upgrade it or leave it alone. But I would start with the Cutlass Black if I was, my opinion.
Like pilots, navigators and so forth talking to each other, and then also planetside, maybe in an intense firefight or exploring a wreck with your headset comms going off. It's just going to be so cool. Anyway, moving on from that, the test case for elevators management tech we got to see. This allows them to integrate for more dynamic elevators into the game. He said it needs a bit more work, but once applied it will work with trams, trains and other public transportation. I do wonder if this will also apply to personal hangars and habitation apartments planetside. That would be kind of cool. They're also continuing to improve the mining mechanic, working on stability and resistance updates. Soon we will see more unstable rocks which are very difficult to mine, but if you focus your laser on one spot of the rock without moving it, the stability then begins to decrease over time. Now it does sound like it's becoming more and more skill based from what it is currently, as I tend to cheat and move my laser off rather than resetting the laser. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go and seeing if it feels okay. Work continues on rest stops, working on asymmetrical exteriors, adding more false shop fronts and advertisements to bring them to life. It's looking very nice and I'm very much looking forward to checking them out when 3.3 comes. Anyway, to finish off with, the Connie Phoenix work continues. They're improving the landing gear compression and
Oh, the
interior
Phoenix.
refinement.
Baby. In order to get LTI, I sacrificed my beautiful white paint job for green crap on my Phoenix. I really hope in game that I'm allowed to get that green shit off my Phoenix and put whatever skin I want on it. Otherwise, I'm gonna be kind of miffed that I got a green turd Phoenix.
The interior is looking great, and we've got the first look at the cool Sentinel piano. Anyway, that was ATV, guys. So, we have a new concept ship. It is called the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. It is a cargo transporter, both physical cargo and data, but it also has sneaky smuggling capabilities. Now, it's capable of collecting and transporting data.
This right here. Emerald one. Green Phoenix.
Data or cargo, using the scanners to listen in on information and collect it, store it, and then encrypt it, selling it to potential buyers. It's got a dedicated scan bay with 4 avionics, a large bank of computers and data pods to store the information. It's much bigger than the Herald as well. It's a much larger ship too, so it can hold more data. It's an asymmetrical ship which combines the look of the Millennium Falcon and the Crusader Starlifter. The asymmetry makes it interesting for thruster placement as well. They said they did go through a few shapes before settling. The interior is also asymmetrical.
This is
as
good.
you can see here, it also has a break room with a hollow table, which is quite cool. Used for
Kind of looks like a Star Wars ship. I don't know which one it is. Maybe an A-wing without being so sharp, like a smoothed out A-wing, possibly.
for relaxing and hopefully playing chess. And then you can press a button where the table is and it'll split open, revealing this sort of ventilation shaft.
Is it?
This system is to provide access
maybe.
to not only components, it provides space for storing subcomponents and so forth, but also an option to hide contraband for smuggling. For weapons, it's got 2 manned turrets in the cargo area, which are size 2s. It's got full 360 rotation, top and bottom arcs as well. 2 front size 2 pylons. You can see the guns through the cockpit and see them firing, plus the windshield or the cockpit is unobstructed, which is excellent. I kind of see this as a combination between a Freelancer and a Herald. So the stats, it's 40 meters in length, 38 meters wide, 11.6 meters high. It's got a 215 meters a second speed, maximum crew of 3. It comes with light armor, 96 standard cargo unit, which excludes the smuggling compartments, 2 size 3 hardpoints, 1 gimbaled size 2 laser repeater, 2 man turrets each with 2 size 2 laser
Dude, it's
repeaters,
a squared off
2
Millennium
size
Falcon,
2
just like you
missile
said.
pylons
That's what it
with
is.
2 size 1 missiles per pylon. Now, I am a fan of the ship. Not majorly. I like that it has the smuggling option, but to be honest,
I
it's
like
a little
the
too
turquoise
obvious a method
one.
for smuggling. As a cargo data runner ship, though, it is pretty cool, and I think it would be a great addition. For the price, it is a lot of cargo space. With the data collection, you've got a decent all-round ship there. Now, the smuggling aspect would highly depend on how it feels, but personally, if it's obvious to a player where to look, then what's the point? You're not going to be able to smuggle stuff. It's obviously more down to the AI and getting it past them. RTV will answer many of your questions and go into more detail, which we'll look at in a second. I will likely create a separate video for the Mercury, but I'll await the official Q&A before I do so we have all the information at hand. I am hoping it brings maybe a data runner or smuggling deep dive so we can
Black and
look into that a
maroon.
bit closer, but I'm not confident it will. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the Mercury, guys. It is a ship that you like. Have you bought one? What are the good points? What are the bad points? I'd love to hear them. So this week's Reverse the Verse was a live Q&A at the Bar Citizen in Cologne during this Gamescom event. Jared sat down with 3 of the people that helped create the Crusader Mercury Star Runner to answer some of our questions about the ship itself. Now, we'll start off by just talking about the ventilation shafts and the stuff that they've spoken about, this little ventilation system underneath the ship. Officially, they are to be a place where you can store items. Basically, spare components, subcomponents, those sort of things that you don't want filling up your cargo space. Lots of ships do have extra areas, like the Adris and Hammerhead, for example, have storage cupboards with racks and storage space. There is a separate component access down in these ventilation shafts as well. The storage space is not registered as cargo and will not show up when people scan the ship or when you try and sell cargo from down there. The main cargo hold is what you will see if you scan the Mercury. But if you spend more time scanning, you may be able to see them, they said, so we'll see if that does actually happen. Now, unofficially though, the smuggling compartments are seen as lockboxes for contraband. Others could find a way to break into them and see what's inside. It is possible to smuggle or trap people in these ventilation shafts as well if you wish, but they do want smugglers to be able to upgrade the shielding for them, so there is less chance of getting discovered. It does sound like you can upgrade the smuggling compartments themselves. Some will have better security than others, and there will be a little hacking minigame, and if a person is good enough, they could get inside the box. But once you land, there will be a customs inspection at many locations. NPCs will either scan your ship or come on board and check it and look around. You have to be clever when it comes to smuggling. There are many ways to not get caught. Having something else for them to scan is a good idea as a distraction maybe, but I personally think if you could place the contraband in these little ventilation shafts and then fill up these areas with regular ship items and subcomponents and whatnot, it could put the AI off or the player off searching for the contraband so long as you don't act all shifty. But someone did ask, won't every guard just know where to look? Will the AI not know the layout of each ship? And that was something of my concern is, surely if you have a smuggling compartment, everyone will know to look there. Now, they said that the AI will be programmed to play a bit dumb. There will be a series of places to hide, and the AI will know maybe 1 of 3, 1 of 4, maybe 2 of 3 places. Although a super smart AI, as they say, may know all of them, that is when you need to get crafty and move stuff about as they search. This, I don't feel, helps when it comes to real players,
AI.
though. You may be able to bribe or kill the other person exploring, or you'll need to get clever and learn the best methods. We are yet to learn more about that, but I do want to make sure that when you get boarded by a player and they know they're looking for contraband, they're not just going to go straight to the obvious places. So one of the questions they asked was, how much smuggling SEU is there? Now, they say that the stats on the stats page will say 96 SEU. This is the rear cargo bay, not including the smuggling compartments. There are 3 compartments. She said it was 1 by 1 size. I assume this means the current cargo box being like 0.25 of a standard cargo unit. Not a big smuggler. It's more of a cargo ship, data runner with smuggling capabilities. So the weapon hardpoints, they say, are rather small compared to other ships of a similar size. Why is this? And they're intentionally small as it's not a fighting ship. It is a fast, agile ship, not one to fight it out and slug it out with other ships. Next question is, they saw a chessboard on the table. Will we be able to play chess? Now, this is quite exciting. They wanted a break room in the ship to relax, and Chris Roberts, they say, has mentioned about having holo chess. He also spoke at great length about how they want to have lots of little mini games to help pass the time while in quantum travel, because obviously it takes a long time to go from
I'm not
one place
playing
to the
chess
next,
in Star
even in
Citizen.
one system alone. Or are these little mini games?
Anybody else not playing chess in Star Citizen?
The table we saw actually folds away and reveals
Anybody?
the ventilation system access, allowing
Bueller?
access to the guts of the ship, like in the
Bueller?
Millennium Falcon. So I do like that. It's nice to know that there will be many mini games like cards, chess-style games, maybe computer games, Arena Commander on board, that sort of stuff, so that if you are traveling from one place to the next and it's taking a long time, you don't get super bored quick. Next question, can the Mercury send
Put Pac-Man
the
on
information
asteroids
data
on my
to
ship,
other ships
please.
for storage, and can the other ships decrypt the info?
And
Now,
one
they
of
say
those
that
hot dog
essentially any
machines
ship
that
will be able
rotate.
to send and receive data
And don't
to
forget the
other ships
popcorn.
on
Gotta have
varying levels.
popcorn.
So sharing coordinates or discoveries, for example. It will just take time. So ships that are not designed to send and receive data will take longer than those with the proper capabilities. They said think of it like bandwidth. The better you have, the quicker it'll be. Encryption is locked to hardware though, so you have to have a ship with the tools to encrypt or decrypt. So as long as you have a ship that can decrypt the information you're sending to them, they will be able to decrypt it and understand it. Now the next question is, how do players use the ship to collect information from other players? And it's quite simple. If a player is sending a transmission to another player, like for example a profitable mining spot, then you can intercept that transmission between the ships and gather that information for yourself. Whether or not they can see that happening, or if they need a special type of hardware to figure that out, I don't know, but it's very straightforward. Information is shared, it can be intercepted and stolen. Next question is, will it be possible to smuggle items within other items, like barrels of toxic waste, or the handheld scanner we saw a while ago where you took out the battery and put in contraband? Now, they definitely want the ability to have crates shieldable or misleading in some way. Customs will stand a better chance finding it if they come on board and just look in the box, though. So having these smuggling compartments is a better way of doing it. But I would like to see a bit more further development so you can be really clever against real players. Like
I put batteries in my gun and they're filled with my buddy's cocaine. I think I'd be really upset.
In there. Maybe not power plants, because then the ship wouldn't run. Next question, will it be possible
Especially
to
when
lay
I pulled the
bait
trigger
out
and it didn't
to
work.
entice guards to look in the wrong section of your ship? Now, they see it working where you can waste the AI's time so much so that they eventually give up looking. It does depend on how they configure the AI. Maybe they'll set them up to do 3 searches in 3 random areas and then they give up. So if you do place a decoy, they can search in the decoy's location and then it'll eventually exhaust their searches depending on how many they have programmed for, and they will eventually just give up on it. But these devices will be quite costly and will be a one-time use only, pretty much balancing the risk-reward. So next question, when visiting a city, instead of landing through the air traffic controller system and going through the customs, could we land outside the city and smuggle the goods in on foot? An excellent question. And they say, yes, you will be able to do this, but avoiding guards will require a bit of skill. For example, Lawville has the main security checkpoint, very hard to pass through it with illegal goods. You can come to the outskirts where the security is a little more relaxed. You know, they don't have the proper systems, they just have handheld scanners, and they won't be as strict when searching you. But there may also be maybe a service hatch, which is open at a certain time of day, which will bypass the security and allow you to get in, but then others who also know about this hatch may be waiting for you to steal this stuff you're smuggling. So very skill based again, and they did say that for every player wanting to be the best smuggler, there is likely a player who wants to be the best at stopping people smuggling, which is just exciting all through and through. Next question, is the Mercury a multi-crew ship or solo? It has a crew of 3, a pilot, co-pilot and maintenance guy. You can run it alone, it's possible, but if you get into trouble you may struggle, like with any of the big ship power in numbers. What vehicles can we fit in the Mercury? Now, it does have a cargo ramp, as you can see at the rear. It can get all the bikes in and the Grey Cat, but it's not big enough for the Cyclone or the Ursa Rover. Can you drop the cargo or the information immediately? Now, there is a button you can press, like the Herald, that can wipe all of the data you are carrying. The cargo doesn't have a special chute to throw it out, but you can decompress the cargo hold, and that will vent the cargo if the doors are open. Anyway, that was the Q&A for the Mercury. The more I listen about it, the more I read about it, the more excited I am for this kind of gameplay. I do hope that they don't make it just easy for real players to find your contraband and they have some clever ways of hiding it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. Let's move on. So also this week, we saw a new lore post to complement the Mercury sale titled On the Run. This post follows the 2 data runners as they try to escape the grasp of the UAE advocacy. Highly suggest giving that a read, especially if you're interested.
That was a good jump, wasn't it?
Mercury itself. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share the video with all your friends. If you like what I do and want to help me make it better, follow the link below to my Patreon page to learn more.
Thank you, Ryan. Good video. I enjoyed it. Good stuff. Super Mac Brother. We love Super Mac Brother. Subscribe, like his video. Okay, up next, in the wonderful world of Star Citizen News, we have Citizen Gamer. Oh, but first I gotta do the got it right here. Put it in here. That's right. All right. Now I gotta make it a little. There you go. So what do I do here, guys? This mini game. So it says wanted. Cause I was staring at this. That was my code that I had for my thing. I'll look again. And Perl program. Well, that wasn't what I linked. This is what I linked right here. At least this should have been what I linked. That's the code. All right. So back to business. I need to do this. I need help. Because Twistar is confused. Oh, where is it now? Uh-oh. Link. Join the manhunt. Here we go. He says go here. There's a clue, so I'll copy this right here. I don't know how you got that for the clue, but here, clue. See what this says. Spectrum. Yeah, I went here last time and I tried to read it. I didn't get any clue out of it. Alert after an exclusive search of Garon and several connecting systems, it seems probable that the culprits have made a successful jump to Banu space. So we need to look in Banu space. We go here. Or do I go to the start map? Okay. Do I go to the star map? No? Is that what I do? Yes. What? It better not ended. It's still going on. I still got the website. Still going. The website be down. I'm looking for the star map right now. What a confused star map. Merchandise subscription. Put up top here. Owen beers. No, it's not Spectrum. Go to development star map. Yeah, development. Okay. Where the hell is development? I'm still looking for. Where's the star map? Anybody help me find a star map? This is pitiful. I used to see the star map. Support, Spectrum, Pledge Store. Yeah, I'm clicking on RSI right now. Looking on RSI, and where's the star map? I clicked RSI. Oh, Sitcon. Okay, to the left of. Oh, here we go. Ship matrix. Oh, see star mapping. Community. Not there anymore. Where's the star map? Why? We got somebody coming through with a link. Oh, wow, it's loud. Oh, it blew my ears out. Holy crap. Okay. Suing Chris Roberts for hearing damages. Okay. Now I want to go to the Garon system. Where would this Garon system be? Here's Garon, right here. I gotta get it to highlight though. Uh-oh. I think I lost it. Where's it at? Okay, it's right here. Alright, so I clicked on the Garon system. Now... what am I looking at here? This green thing right here? Is this what I'm looking for? Or am I looking for something else? Bottom right, type in routes. Okay. Am I supposed to see something? Is it over? Is the ship sale over? I would assume if the ship sale's over. Alright. Guess I'm not gonna get my skin. Feel ripped off. Oh well. What I get for having a job and having work, I guess. Wait a minute. I think he had the week off. This might be last week's. Yeah, check the date. 8/27. That's only 2 days ago. That should be good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Blastcast. I am Jarus, and with me, as always, is, well, I don't have a name for him this week, Lightning Dragon.
The bastion of common sense.
We'll go with that. Well, let's get into Star Citizen news. This week is pretty much everything related to the Mercury, so we decided that we're going to talk about it a little bit compared to the Connie, which is a similar price range, and also another ship that performs a similar function, the Herald, if we feel that this ship is worth it. So let's go ahead and look at the cargo of these ships. For starters, the Connie and the Mercury both hold 96. Now, I do feel that the Mercury could hold more if they moved that turret at least the way you entered it, or if they made it remote. To me, it seems it's a big waste of space.
Now, also keep in mind that the stats, as always, are subject to change and blah, 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 out of date and development game.
That's true. Don't message us in 2019 and say that we were wrong. The Connie has a standard speed of 190, an afterburner speed of 910. The Mercury has a standard speed, or SCM, of 215, and an afterburner of 1050. So it is just a little bit faster. But the Herald is still the king. Its normal speed is 235, and its afterburner speed is 1360.
Which is probably the fastest ship in the game.
Oh, yeah. So if you're in a situation where you need to get your data where it's going, you don't want anyone to catch you, it's the Herald. The Connie requires a crew of 3 minimal, Mercury requires 2, and the Herald, of course, requires just 1. Some people were concerned that this ship would actually replace the Herald, but as you can see, for those people who don't always have access to play with others, or just want to go ahead and play by themselves, or they don't want to have the extra expenses that come along with NPCs and ship maintenance, the Herald still is going to be a fantastic ship, and in some ways, superior still for the job.
Yeah, it's more of a focused ship.
Now, the Mercury does sport 3 medium-sized computers, where the Herald only has 1 small, but once again, it's a focused ship. The Mercury is going to be shipping data in bulk, along with physical cargo. I look at the Mercury as, I don't know if you've ever played other space games, for example, like Elite Dangerous. Let's just use that for example. You can split up part of your cargo to carry passengers and part of it to carry cargo. So you can do 2 things at the same time. You can take this group of cargo and this set of passengers over to the same station and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Same thing kind of goes here. Now, as far as the fuel ranges, the standard fuel tanks, the Connie has 2 medium, the Mercury has 2 medium, and the Herald has 2 small. But once again, this is also relative to how much fuel is needed to push so much mass. The Herald is the smallest of all of them.
Yeah, it's really kind of hard to say because I don't think we've been shown, and with the changes coming, the way fuel is drained might change.
Now, as far as deep space travel, quantum drive, the Connie has 1 medium fuel tank, the Herald has a small, and the Mercury sports 2 medium. So this is where the ship gets a little bit of an advantage if you want to go into deep space or go into places where other people aren't, and that factors into the weapons. The Mercury is actually vastly underpowered compared to the Connie when it comes to weaponry, but if you're at places where no one else can get to, it doesn't really matter. The Connie sports 4 size 4 gimbaled or can be fixed size 5, 4 facing weapons, and 2 turrets each with 2 size 2 weapons. Don't forget, of course, the snub fighter that attaches to it, and you can also, it's got enough space in the entranceway to put a rover. So the Connie is a very down to business kind of ship.
Not to mention all the missiles it has.
Oh yeah, and it's got a ridiculous amount of missiles. It's got 24 size 2 missiles, and 28 size 1 missiles. It's just a missile boat. Now, the Mercury has 2 size 2 gimbaled forward-facing weapons and 2 turrets as well. Those turrets have 2 size 2s on each turret. One thing I don't like about the turret placement they have on the top turret is it's kind of low behind the slope, so it can't be used very well forward. I wish they'd stop doing that because it completely hamstrings a use of a turret in just a very detrimental way.
I don't think any modern or otherwise plane that had turrets has ever had a turret that had a blind spot that wasn't like a wing or something.
The only way that top turret is going to be able to hit anything forward is if it's forward and above them. Now, of course, the Herald just has 1 size 2 and 2 size 1s. Pretty straightforward. It's not really a ship that's made to go out there and get into combat. If anything, those weapons are more like blasting asteroids and just getting obstacles out of the way. Now, getting into the layout of the ships, we all know the Connie. We all know the Herald. The Herald is pretty much just a room.
Yeah, the Connie is several rooms glued together.
But the layout of the Mercury is interesting. Not only are we dealing with the fact that it's got a central hallway that runs down, everything is kind of built off the sides of the hallways, which is, a way that we construct things when we play games like Space.
So, got the cockpit over here. Good size room here. I don't know what this is right here. Cargo.
Engineers and whatnot, we create a central area and then build things off of that. So I respect that. That works pretty well. They also added a ventilation system that's accessible by the character, meaning you can Metal Gear your way through the vents.
Metal Gear.
And it is, of course, a smuggling ship with hidden compartments, which won't be hidden to players, but because you're going to know right where that is. But it will be, I guess, to some degree hidden from NPCs. They'll have to have skill checks and whatnot to see if they notice it or whatever. My personal opinion, still the best smuggling ship is the one they don't expect you to be smuggling in. And in my case, I think the Freelancer Dur is actually my favorite for that because it carries just enough cargo, and with long-range sensors and long-range scanners as a Deep Space Explorer, you can see them before they see you. Best way not to be scanned is just not be there. Now, in some regards, people have been referring to the ship on the forums as an
I really
FPS
like the
level in
Dur.
space, though I still don't think it's nearly as egregious as the Starfarer. You can get to where you're going, you just don't have to go through all the wackiness that you do with the Starfarer.
Oh, you gotta get lost in that ship all the time.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to it. So do I think the ship is worth it? Let's just start with the aesthetics. I'm really a big fan of the Crusader Industries aesthetic. I think this is one of the prettier ships that's come out. I think it's pleasant to look at in every way. It has that nice Starlifter kind of design. It's like they just basically shrunk the whole thing down. I have already stated my opinion on the turret issue. But generally speaking, they said this is Star Citizen's Millennium Falcon. Well, Millennium Falcon
It's
was...
not.
Yeah, well, Millennium Falcon is kind of the opposite. It's an ugly ship that's made to be massively overpowered and overperform. This is a ship that's aesthetically pleasing and in some regards underperforms in other areas. Once again, it's a beautiful ship and I like what it has going for it. It's one of those ships that you can take out with a few friends, kill multiple tasks at the same time, maybe even pick up some rogue transmissions, get some illegal data or whatever, and just have a good old time. So price-wise, pound for pound, since it's about the same cost as a Connie, I really think this is a good move. I'm glad they didn't really jack up the price. Some of the ships that have come out lately have been really over the top in pricing. Either looking at a CCU or a fresh purchase, this is actually a good ship, I think, for any player to have because it's going to give you multiple roles at the same time, allowing you to try varying forms of playstyle, which is kind of interesting because what we've noticed in Star Citizen ships, and someone pointed this out on my Discord, is that a lot of the starter ships or the lower end ships are very focused. It's the ones as you move up which seem to have more flexibility, which seem to have multiple tasks to be able to be performed at the same time. And if you think about it, in a lot of ways that's kind of the reverse of what you see in most games.
I can see the point in doing this though.
Yeah.
Because what this does is, well, technically it's backwards for almost every other game. If you look at it where if something new is coming into the game and they're like, I want to play, this kind of ship. Well, they can pretty easily get into a ship that is just like laser focused to do exactly what they want. So if they want to do that, like scanning, for example, right? The Herald or whatever, they can get into that ship relatively quickly. And then if they want something better or as they get more friends or whatever, they can be like, okay, well, what can we upgrade this into that allows me to play with more people or do more things? And I don't fault them for this kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely not. I just found it was interesting. I mean, I think it's a bold move, and It does kind of make sense as you go along larger ships that have more space and more ability to carry different systems. Yeah, I have no problems with it. I just found it to be a very interesting observation. So we wanted to talk a little bit about weapons and weapon sizes, because a lot of people were talking about the Mercury and said, we want bigger guns, we want bigger guns. We did a lot of covering on weapons in this channel, like the arms race to the bottom. Lightning has some thoughts on it a little bit, and kind of let him take it from here, and I'll jump in. But yeah, go ahead, Lightning.
I sure love repeating myself. Now, this is purely my personal take. I mean, for starters, I don't care what CIG does as long as they make things work. My look at this, it allows options, and it allows you to kind of diversify. How you diversify, it's up to CIG and stuff. My idea mostly is if you limit weapons that have for fighters, right? Let's say every ship dies. So if it's a small ship, it can have this size weapons, and we've covered this a lot. But if you have like a range between 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, if it's a larger ship like the Hornet, I like using the Hornet as an example. If the Hornet can have between size 1 and size 3 guns, the size 3 guns are the maximum size it can fit. I know that's not true, but in this hypothetical thing, that's what I'm going with. Size 3 guns, they'd shoot farther, but they'd have a lot less damage per second. They shoot a lot less often, but they can shoot a lot farther. And the size 2s, obviously, they have like a higher rate of fire to kind of compensate for that, but they're losing the range. What this can do is effectively split your weapons into offensive weapons and defensive weapons based on the ship class that they're in. An offensive weapon in a Hornet would be like a size 3 or a size 2. But if you scale it up to like a Connie or something, if the Connie can have up to size 5 on the turrets, which would just be ridiculous.
Well, not the turret, but the forward-based guns, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because the turrets are limited, but that would make it where it's a much, much longer range gun, but at a severe rate of fire penalty. Let's say you have the size 4s in the turrets, because I think it's like size 3s in turrets, or size 2s.
They're size 2s.
Well, they shouldn't be. They should be 3s. In this scenario, let's say that they have size 5 on there, but they have a huge drain on the power, but they're incredibly, incredibly long range. So if you spy like, there's a fighter coming in over at 9 o'clock or something, you go, okay, well, number 1 gunner, take some warning shots at him with the big guns. So you fire at him with the size 5s to kind of maybe shake him off, like, he can already shoot at me, and make him kind of change his mind. And your rate of fire is going to be a lot less, but if they do hit, they're going to do quite a lot of damage. And on your second turret, maybe you have, either size 4s, or maybe you are going crazy and you have like 4 size 3s. Now, when you're doubling them up like that, they're going to have that same kind of power draw as the really big guns, but at a vastly reduced range. So you probably can only run like 1 turret at a time, but your amount of volume of fire, either with the quad 3s or the 2 4s, is going to be enough to either blind them or do enough damage to disable the ship or make him think twice about attacking.
It's too bad they got rid of the quad weapon thing that they were going to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I mean, you could still do it in the way where like they actually get a rate of fire boost because there's plenty of extra power for them to fire.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes in line with real weapons. If you go back to World War II and like the Navy ships and stuff, they had like 105s and 40 millimeters and 20 millimeters and all these kind of different guns, because what they did, and a good game that simulates this is World of Warships, which I know maybe not everybody likes, but what that does is you have effective coverage zones. Bigger guns like 105s, I think 120, 125, I think. Millimeters, obviously not inches, that'd be huge. There are certain guns that were dual purpose, like destroyers eventually had dual purposes. And your really big guns have a very long range they can fire at, but they're not going to fire very quick because they have to be reloaded, or in Star Citizen case, the energy has to build back up, or shells being reloaded for physical weapons. But as you go down in size to like the 40 millimeters or the 20 millimeters, your rate of fire increases, but your range drops off. So it becomes more and more dangerous the closer you get when you have those overlapping fields of fire, to the point where if you're really close range, like with size 3s or something, they're going to be just annihilating you, at least as far as hitting you. A plane in World War II didn't take much to shoot down, whereas, starships have shields and armor, but the volume of fire may make you change your mind, or because you've been flying at them this whole time to get ran into your own guns, which are a lot smaller, maybe your shields are down by this point, and you're taking armor damage, or you're like, maybe I could engage him, the chances of him destroying me are going up the longer I stay here. I think that would offer a lot of versatility to the game, and then you could take like, oh, well, we want to release the ship, but we only want to have size 4 guns on the turrets. Well, maybe it's designed for size 4. It's not reaching that upper limit. So your rate of fire isn't hampered by like the power core or something. So, well, yes, it doesn't have size 5s. Your size 4s are much more efficient, and they're more of a defensive type of weapon. And I think that'd be a great thing to classify when they talk about the turrets and things. It's like, oh, well, it's more of a defensive turret. Well, why is it a defensive turret? You need to have some variance on how the guns work so that you can have an offensive type weapon and a defensive type weapon. Obviously, you scale based on your ship.
And that goes along the lines basically of just because you can equip something doesn't mean maybe you should. For example, the Hornet, you could put those 3 size 3s and the size 4 if you put the flash fire mount on there, okay? But maybe in order to power those weapons, you need to drop your shields down to something minuscule. Or maybe if you want to have really powerful shields, you need to drop down to size 1 weapons. The point is that the power systems in the game should be a tool to let you make selective and informed choices to keep things kind of balanced within the game. While they have different abilities to scale upwards, it doesn't necessarily mean that they always can. It's just having more options doesn't mean that all options are utilized. For example, maybe you want size 3 weapons if the power draw is too high, so you have to go with physical, because physical requires much less energy than an energy weapon, and now you're limited by ammo. So you have big guns, you have decent shields, and you have very limited ammo. So it's one of those things that when it comes to the power supply as well, and dealing with the weapons and the systems, just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. So I'd like to see this kind of complexity come in where you have to balance those choices. Of course, a lot of that comes to bringing weapon damage spreads between tiers within reasonable levels, and that, of course, involves getting rid of things like IM. So,
also, the flight, the turrets don't work in the current flight.
Exactly. So those are all things that Chris addressed to some degree, except IM. These things have to change, and some of these things are officially in the works, or at least intended. But yeah, the power system right now, I see a lot of people complaining that they don't have enough firepower or enough energy to fire X, Y, and
no
Z.
skin
And I
for
think
me.
this is something that needs to be an important
wow.
consideration to, like, you need to
Mr.
have
got
just enough
screwed.
power to operate things at your default level, and then when you modify it, you have raise things up, you raise things down, both components and weapons to make it all work. General thoughts on that because of all the comments about the weapons on the Mercury being too small. I guess it comes down to, it depends. Alright guys, and later this week we're probably going to go ahead and do a review of Monster Hunter. Maybe there's either an in-game or... We thought about doing an in-game review because that should be chaotic as all hell.
Yeah, we love doing chaos.
We do it well.
Every Monday, every Tuesday, whatever day it is. I don't know what day it is.
It's that day again.
It's
Alright.
that day again.
Alright guys, that's about everything for this week's Blastcast. And we're still kind of in the content drought. I would expect Evocati to go into testing within, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks. If they want to get it out in time for CitizenCon, cross your fingers. Catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Hope springs eternal.
No hope allowed.
All right, the Blast
I changed
Cast.
my mind.
We got Citizen Gamer with Blastcast 149. I'll put the link to that. All right. See, Laminal didn't have any board gamer.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen, diving into a summary of Calling All Devs, which covered multi-crew for Arena Commander, route planning for quantum travel, and personal hangars. Also a bit on stability that I saw on...
Okay, I put the link to Board Gamer in the chat there. And away we go.
Reddit. Multi-crew, so they are going to be assembling a dedicated team to work on Star Marine and Arena Commander to add new game modes, maps, and features, as well as balance, UI improvements, optimizations, all specifically with Star Marine and Arena Commander in mind. Multi-crew Arena Commander should be something they tackle in the future, allowing you to spawn in the turret or co-pilot station of a ship for use in PvP, Arena Commander battles, or Vandal Swarm. So, for example, you could have a Constellation versus Constellation battle with all the stations and turrets manned by multiple people. A lot of code and work is already done for this. They need to add some functionality to the lobbies so you can specify exactly where you'd spawn. The creation of this dedicated team should also help evolve multi-crew, AI, balance, and turret gameplay, and those updates and optimizations will then be taken into the persistent universe as well. The plan is to have that team working on those features this year. Quantum route planning. So they are working on a route planning feature for the star map for your ship. Potentially it could make it into 3.3, though it's more likely to make it into 3.4. This will take into account how far you can quantum travel in each jump, how much fuel is required, and it will also pick the shortest path by default. But you'll also be able to edit the route to go to a particular point or go to a station on the way or avoid an area. There'll be essential information like where fuel and rest stops are and what potentially commodities that are available there, so that you aren't caught short by running out of fuel, or if you need a repair or whatever, you'll be able to plan those routes with at least some form of intelligence. We don't really know how much it's going to hold your hand yet. Like, will it allow you to, if you plot a route, and will it warn you that you're going to run out of quantum fuel, or will it try and plot and go to a station nearby if it knows you're going to run out of quantum fuel? Stuff like that is still being worked out. The whole star map will be getting made more user-friendly and fun as well in the future.
Some crazy footage,
they
man.
may have you gather information about certain stations and areas, and that all that sort of stuff would get updated as you visit them.
They're actually moving faster than I thought they would move.
That can be sold to other players and potentially NPCs, although they're still working.
Because you got to
exactly
figure it's
systems on
pausing
how you
every
would
couple
buy, transfer, and
frames.
sell data. Info might have value based on its age, what's been detected, where it is, where it's been mapped. You'll be able to map out asteroid fields that might have loads of gold in them. You might be able to explore frontier systems and map stuff like that out, and that would be valuable data as well. They are still working out the possibility of dropping waypoints and destinations in the middle of nowhere as well, or basically entirely freely on the star map. This creates a lot of issues for them, including potentially being able to circumvent some systems and patrol routes. Would trade lanes form in the way that they want in the game? And exactly how would the system be handled? But conversely, it's going to be amazing for exploration if they do that, and for some like tactical planning and plotting. They haven't ruled that out, basically, but they haven't confirmed it either. So we don't 100% know yet whether we're going to have freeform waypoint dropping when it comes to I want to go here, or if it will just be detected points of interest and nearby areas. Personal hangars. So they're currently working on common hangar elements at the moment for Hurston. So this is sort of like the textures, props, the walls, all that sort of stuff. And they are planning to integrate the current instanced hangars into these major landing zones. So Hurston, lots of cool new hangars and hangar stuff coming with that. And eventually we'll have our hangars integrated with that, the instanced hangars that we currently have. But different types of hangar may be restricted to certain areas. So the Revel and York hangar, which is very high-tech and clean-looking, might only be available when you're in the Stanton system in Microtech. So that would be your hangar point that you'd place there. A self-land hangar might be available in Hurston, for example. So different places will have different hangars, and there'll be a lot more types of hangar in the future. It's not just going to be 4 hangars and they're all exactly the same every time you go to the hangar. They're going to be unique hangars based on the locations you go, or at least variants of them. So these hangars will also allow you to customize them with flair and potentially other bits and pieces too, and other players will also be able to visit you there. You'll be able to get a group together, get in a ship together in your hangar, and then leave the hangar together. They are going to keep adding and updating the common hangar elements, so different planets, as I said, might have different variations and some unique pieces too, but they can reuse what's sensible across all other hangars in the verse. Hangars will be of various sizes, and you will be able to rent them as well. And they're still exploring some other ideas with hangars too. Something was said about player hubs in the episode of Calling All Devs as well. We know that they're building more advanced spawn rooms and locations for Hurston, and eventually we'll be able to either rent or buy them as well. But it was kind of cut from the show, what they were talking about there, to show or reveal at a later time. Stability. A question was asked in Reddit, where is stability on the roadmap? And Bearded CIG replied, we tend to define stability as anything that abruptly interrupts the play experience. Client crashes, disconnects, server crashes, whereas
Change the head
performance
to
is
something
how well the
that's
game runs. I gather data on how frequently stability issues are affecting our players and send a report on it almost every PTU build that we release, so producers have a mathematical measurement of how stable both the game client and the game servers are. It helps to answer questions they have with regards to how bad a particular problem is and how does this compare to the public environment, which in turn helps them to prioritize if we need to focus on stability issues or other problems. I then record that data so we can have historical context of what past builds of the game were like. Since stability is something we look at every time we release a build to the PTU, I don't think it's going to show up on the roadmap. I just thought that was an interesting thing to talk about. Stability and really performance is always going to be looked at every PTU patch, every live patch, every time they do a mini patch. It's
Every
important to them.
patch.
They respond to issues on the issue council
They respond.
and things that their QA teams detect. Be sure to check out Shadow. It's a cloud-based alternative
Shadow.
to getting or upgrading your gaming PC. It allows you to leverage the power of a GeForce 1080 at the moment and a powerful Windows
I'm building
10
my
PC
own in
on
my
almost any
house
device,
this
so long as your
weekend.
internet connection is
I got a
good enough.
server
It
and
works with
everything.
Star Citizen Alpha 3.2,
I'm gonna
and
try
with
this
3.3
out and
coming
use my
in
own
September.
equipment
With Object Container Streaming, it's
without
only
paying
going to get
them.
better. If you do
All
try
my
it out,
stuff.
be sure to use the code BOARDGAMER to get a discount. Links to more info in the description below. Every month we have a giveaway for a ship. This time it's for a Saber Raven. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment
Subscribe.
on any of my videos during the
Links
month.
in my
Each
chat.
video gives you another chance to win. If you have any questions,
Leave a comment.
suggestions, or want to discuss anything we talked about, please put it in the comments below. A massive thank you to my Patreons and YouTube sponsors.
Win the
You
ship.
guys genuinely rock. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for
You
more Star
rock.
Citizen news, and I'll see you in the verse.
See you in the verse. Okay, as always, Board has giveaways every month. This month it is a Saber Raven. For each one of his videos, you can leave a comment, but you have to be subscribed, so make sure you're subscribed. And every single one of his videos for the month, make sure you leave a comment, and every time you do that, it's another chance to win. I believe that's how it works. If it doesn't work that way, please, somebody correct me. All right, here we go. Going into the grand finale of the night here with Mr. Nuberfire working diligently on his new studio. And I believe it's 800 square feet. He does have a lot of time in the service, so he's getting to retire from there soon. And he has mentioned that he wants to pretty much do this after that. So he's setting himself up like really all professional like it's crazy. So let's check it out.
Hello YouTubers, this is the Nubifier. This is a big update actually. For those of you that have been following the channel, I've decided to take the pause between 3.2 and 3.3 and update the studio space. So that means more environments for unboxings and different kinds of stuff that you're not necessarily used to, but I'm going to try to push a little bit bigger, and that's good for the channel. It's good for Star Citizen because technically speaking, if I can get more people interested in the channel and then they start to see Star Citizen, that would be a good thing. So today's update includes that the walls are done. I need to do a lot of touch-up painting, but the broad strokes of it literally are done. All the lights are done. It's ridiculous and glorious at the same time. The plan is to have enough light in here that I might be able to film without actually having to set up light kits and that. I do have a plan for a rack on the wall for light kits, similar to what you see here with these lights and umbrellas. So those would fold up and just go on the wall. I'd get a couple of those. I have some plans to get some mobile baffles to stop some of the echo that's in here. You can definitely hear it, but the plan is to be able to use this space as if it was a studio. The walls themselves have all been packed with rock wool. The ceiling's been packed with rock wool where I could. So this is actually a pretty quiet space. Got the doors all sorted out with frosted glass. Should give a really cool look. This is the door to the actual original studio, and then once that door is closed, even though the furnace is on right now, because all the sound killing has been put into the wall, this space is actually pretty inert, pretty dead. So today I'm working on some stuff for Virpil and for Monster Tech. So you should see a new video, a new product that's come out from Monster Tech. And just a shout out to Saurus. Today's your 4th year of streaming. Congratulations, sir. You're on the TV right there. So the table's a good space for unboxing and that. There's a second table coming, which is waist height, like a stand-up table. It's 4 feet by 4 feet. And then a bunch of these chairs. Yes, they're not the X-Racer, but I think putting 6 of them around there should be good for collaboration. If there's any local content creators that want to do something. My wife was
6
talking about
chairs.
starting up a YouTube business for
Wow.
cakes. So I guess no bullshit cakes.
White
It's gonna
too.
be a thing. And then, like I said, trying to expand a little bit, reaching out to some local companies, some Canadian companies to see if they want to help out. Trying to get a 360-degree camera, so something like this video might be viewable 360, so you can look at what you want as we're going along. Again, just trying to expand. Whatever's good for the channel is good for Star Citizen, and vice versa. So
Lots of
I am ready to talk about 3.3. I'm definitely going to cover CitizenCon, and this is not like the end of an era where Noobifier stops talking about Star Citizen. That is simply not the case. I am expanding. Nothing's going to stop. Thanks very much for your support, guys. Stay tuned.
He's doing this tile, he told me. It's kind of like wooden plank tile, I believe. It's like planks. It's going to look really nice. It's going to be the bomb.
And I'll see you in the verse.
All right. We're going to raid somebody. I already picked out our friend that we're going to raid. This guy right here, Time of Chaos. This guy is hype, dude. He's all hyped up. He's juiced up. He just woke up. Wherever he lives, he just woke up. I mean, he's gonna keep you guys going. You guys are gonna like this guy. He plays some really good music too. Pay attention to his music. His music's really, really, really good. So we're gonna raid him. So I'm gonna put the command in chat now. Copy his name. Hopefully I do it right the first time this time, because sometimes when I do it, I don't do it right. So guys, as always, it was wonderful having you guys here. I know I'm not the greatest, but I'm telling you, I got some stuff in the works. It's gonna be great. I just got a lot of work to do, switching one computer to the other computer, and then I'm building the NAS server this weekend, and after that I got a lot of file transfers to do. I got the arcade machine upstairs to get hooked up, and then after all that's going, I should be able to start adding days to my stream, so I should be doing more than 1 day a week. So let's raid this guy. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. It was great. Thank you so much. Okay, we're raiding. We should be going in.
Report crimes taking place to the police. It needs to be taken offline. The Nova Riders are looking to hire a hacker to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if some trouble showed up when all is said and done. That's about all you need to know. Not bad. We have Hunting Party. The Nine Tails got a mess that needs clearing up. Paying solid credits for it too. The mess goes by the name of Jeffrey Haas. I can give you one of the spots they're known to frequent, but the rest is up to you. Quite fancy smashing in the mess known as Jeffrey Haas, but not sure about that. Yeah, and we did get a shout out for Twister in chat as well, didn't we? I hope we didn't miss that out. Boom! Twister coming in with a raid, a party of 8. I appreciate that very much. You know what? Been a while. Should we do a raid video? Let's do a raid video. I've got a few raid videos. I could try a completely different one that we've never had before. Professional streamer right here, folks. Keep it in mind. Kung Fu raid? No. Let's do the first ever raid that I made. Yes.
And this
welcome,
is a raid.
Welcome. Oh, yes, yes. Get that funky 70s swing on. That collar of awesomeness. Flares.
Ah, man. That's some heavy shit, man.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's my raid video, buddy. It's my raid video. Well, I have quite a few raid videos, to be fair. But that's a raid video.
This is bad country.
I miss those days. Yeah, and hey, I never know how to say your name, Elder, so I'm just going to call you Eldar. After the old Eldar race from Warhammer. And how are you doing, buddy? Thank you so much as well for sticking with for supporting me, mate. Especially considering I haven't been streaming loads and stuff. So, big shout out to you. Much love coming your way. Yo, Kazan, good to see you back. Oh, I've watched this before. Totally screws. Totally screws, mate. I can't read what you're saying. Eldar is fine.